Welcome back for another chat, another culture chat. We are joined here today by Manny Soto Grego. Manny is an experienced health information management professional, currently serving as the HIM director for Valleywise Health in Phoenix, Arizona. He's got over 40 years, do we want to say that, Manny? In the field. You know, it's truth. It's truth. I've known Manny for over 25 years. I worked for Manny when he was doing HIM in northern Arizona. So we go way back. But Manny has many hats. He's had volunteer positions, leadership roles for Arizona Health Information Management Association, AZHIMA. And he's also served on the board of directors for 1 in 10, the Greater Phoenix Equity, Chamber of Commerce, and Voices of the Desert Chorus. So Manny, thanks for joining us today. It's great to have not only your expertise and wisdom, but you really are a landmark in the community. You help so many, so you're just all around a good human that I'm happy to be connected with. So thanks for joining us.
Of course, thank you for having me. I'm excited for this.
Yeah. So as you know, we like to talk about leadership, culture, things that happen in the workplace, your journey as a leader. So maybe share with us a pivotal moment for you in your leadership journey.
Well, I think what got me here today to this interview was gratitude. So it was in 2023. I think it's where the whole thing changed for me, in gratitude, and bringing that into my department and into our organization. I've been the director of HIM for Valleywise Health for 16 years. And every year we have an employee engagement survey, right? And every year we try something new, right? We as leaders get together, it's like, what's going to work for the staff? And then we implement, and guess what? It didn't work for the staff. We forgot one main ingredient, the feedback from the staff. Right? So, that's the definition of insanity. Unfortunately, when you reach out to the staff for feedback, which we did, they didn't voice. There's really very few that voiced issue or concern or what they wanted to see. We would even do like anonymous, put a Excel spreadsheet or Word document in the share drive, go in and type it in, and we don't know who's in it. None of that worked. So in 2023, driving back from El Paso after visiting mom, good son, it's gonna be like that. So sorry.
No, please don't apologize.
I have an audiobook called Leading with Gratitude, where I have 3.5 hours reading that book. And to go back, we had just received our results for the employee engagement survey for 2023, right? And I had that in the back of my mind, what are we going to do this year? What creative thing can we do? So I hit play as I got into the freeway. And as I was listening to the audiobook, I was reflective to the questions in the survey and those that scored low. And I have it here, so I can just be specific. And the questions that came up was, rewards poor performance are meaningful, 77%. I feel valued as an employee of the organization, 81%. I feel like I really belong at Valleywise Health organization, 84%. An employee, regardless of their differences, are treated fairly, 84%. And people at Valleywise Health trust and respect each other, 85%. So those they're good, but they're not as great, right? We want them to be higher. So as I listened to the audiobook, I'm like, all this has to do with gratitude. What I'm hearing from the book is related to how the employee should feel about the organization, about working for me. I take this person, so working for me, I'm not like that. They don't know me. I'm the director, right? And we have frontline staff. And to top it off, we're virtual. Right? A large percentage of my team is virtual throughout the country. So we don't have that opportunity anymore where we can walk around through the department and chat with them and get to know the employee one-on-one. So by the time I got to Phoenix, I'm like, okay, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to buy the book for my leadership team, and we're going to read it, and we're going to read 2 or 3 chapters at a time and get together every 2 weeks. And what does that mean to us? I can tell you about my leadership team. We're not excited about a new task in the book to read. And it was challenging, right? I had to be, I always tell the staff, when you try something new, my leaders, when you try something new, unless you're consistent, it's just a flavor of the month and it means nothing. Unless you are consistent, then they're not going to believe you, and then it's going to be rolling their eyes, oh, we're going to try something new, it's going to fall apart, da da da. So I had to be consistent. I had to, what I call, be courageous enough to be vulnerable in front of my leaders and the staff, or otherwise, I'm not walking. What is it? Talking the talk, walking the walk, whatever the saying is.
Yeah.
I had to put myself out there for them to trust me. So we developed a PowerPoint presentation. The first slide is talking about making a safe space for us to have these conversations. The meetings are an hour and a half long, so I really committed the time for the staff. Let's do this. Don't worry about productivity. Don't worry about having to stop what you're doing, and let's have this meeting. It's in the books, and here's the agenda, and here's what we're talking about, and here's the. So I have it organized that step by step we do these things. So as we reviewed the book, I also thought, okay, how do we? My thing is, we miss opportunities of gratitude when we go through our day with blinders of me, I need to make it through the day. We miss those pearls of opportunities when someone is holding the door for you, when someone is saying thank you to you for something, when someone is doing something that we fail to recognize because I'm in the me stage, right? I need to make it through the day. I have this meeting.
Just get to the next thing, next meeting. We're always busy.
Right. So I then started thinking, okay, how do we stay in a grateful mindset? How do we, other than reading the book and getting the tips from the book, how do we maintain that gratitude mindset? So I introduced journaling to the team. Everyone got a journal from me and a pen, and then we started talking about the 5 senses, right? I forget them. Smell, taste, sound, touch, and sight. So incorporate all of those senses into gratitude. So you're journaling, you're holding a pen, you're listening to what I call your gratitude song. We'll talk about that as well. And I use essential oils or a scent or a perfume or whatever you want to taste. And taste, I used to do it with wine, but I can't bring wine to a meeting. So it's coffee. Right? So I have a cup of coffee and I can smell the coffee, right?
Yeah.
It's decaf, but it's still coffee. So
I don't think decaf smells different.
it does. It's still coffee. So having I challenged all of us. Let's do a 90-day gratitude challenge of journaling, nonstop.
Cool.
And every time we met us, who's journaling? I know it's hard to do. What else can you do instead of journaling? Some people started getting creative about a vision board, adding to their vision board for gratitude items in their vision board.
Yeah.
Someone says, well, I don't have time to journal because my children are running around. I'm a single parent, blah, blah, blah. I said, well, look, have them join you. It's family time, and have them join you. And of course, their eyes roll. It's like, oh, great. But then
Now more chores.
The next month is like, my children love it. I gave them I said, give them coloring books and crayons. So they started with that. Then they started journaling with me, and they started sharing affirmations all together as a family. That warmed my heart. So not only is it helping us at work, but it's also helping us in our day-to-day life.
Yeah.
Being in that gratitude mode, mindset, and then not missing those opportunities when someone has done something meaningful for you.
Well,
Or it may not be meaningful for you, but if someone's waiting for you to walk through the door and they're holding the door, don't just walk through it.
Say thank you.
Right?
Yeah.
take the
I
opportunity.
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes we take that away from people as well. Meaning by that I mean that then you rush to get the door for them. And they say, oh, you go first. You're
Yeah.
robbing them of that
Have an opportunity to.
acknowledgement of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's to me, I learned this fine line when someone's doing something nice to you. It's not because they want it in return. They're just generally wanting to be nice to you.
Yeah. Say thank
Yeah.
you. Accept it.
Thank you,
Yeah.
and move on. And then if there's a second door,
Yeah.
there's an opportunity for the second door.
Sure,
For the person's life. So you
yeah.
pay it
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
So listening to that book brought all those things to mind, and then creating. I knew it wasn't just about reading the book. We had to do exercises.
Yeah.
The book gave some tips after each chapter, but I wanted it to be consistent. So then when we started doing a sharing our gratitude song as a group, so every time we meet, someone in that group is leading that meeting or co-leading with me. And we identify the gratitude song, icebreaker question, the chapters that we're reading, they identify talking points just to kick off the conversations as a group. And then we create a gratitude challenge that we do between meetings, right?
How fun.
Which could be something as simple as sending gratitude notes to someone. We have online. The organization, in 2023, the organization really stepped up along with me, not knowingly, because in 2024, we started getting a budget per employee for rewards and recognition. So it's
Great.
$25 per
Yeah.
employee, and then now it's $30 per employee. You'll be surprised how much you can get for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I
But
mean,
I
a little
think-
goes a long way, and I think that's the point, right? It doesn't have
Yeah.
to be these big monetary things that make
Correct.
people feel seen and heard and recognized.
Right?
Yeah.
And everyone has a different way of feeling valued and
Mm-hmm.
seen and recognized. You know, some
Yeah.
people like a gift, some people like words of affirmation, some people like to help them with their tasks.
Our love languages,
Yeah.
you know, different love languages.
That's right.
The
We
same
all
thing as
like,
love languages. Exactly.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I think there's two things that you said that I just want to make sure we don't run over. And that is, the first one was about consistency. And so many times you'll see organizations put programs in and it's almost like the program is for them. It's pointing outwards and not really understanding the modeling of the behavior and how that actually has the largest impact. So I think I wanted to call that out because it's such an important element to any successful program, right? Or any successful initiative is that the leaders have to model the behavior. And then the other piece that I absolutely loved is around gratitude, but understanding that it's the small things and really wanting to be conscientious of those, like someone holding a door, or like seeing a cloud formation that looks like a rabbit, or getting to see the sunrise, or, you know, a butterfly, like anything. I think the point that you're making, and I think it's so valid, is that we're just running through life and all these great moments are surrounding us on a regular basis. Rachel and I make a joke all the time when we're in consulting or coaching, and we say, okay, tell us everything that went wrong today. And then the list just can go, you know, like everyone can, okay, tell us what right today. And you can see the like, oh my God, I'm going to have to go back into the annals here and figure out what happened. And that just tells you that, one, we're so focused on the things that aren't working right. But two, we're not even consciously aware of all the greatness going on around us. So I love those 2 points and I didn't want to lose them.
Yeah.
So
And-
consistency, we've been consistent since 2023. It takes about 6 months per unit per group to go through the entire book because for me it's not rushed. We meet every once a month. I'm not rushing the employees to give them extra work to do.
Right.
It's not about checking the box and getting through it.
It's about 4 weeks of you get to the chapters. You know, here's the homework. You know, here's what we're gonna do. You're the co-leader. I'll meet with you 30 minutes before, 2 days before the meeting. So you've read the book, you've got your gratitude song, and we put it together. So it's been consistent. So we've got about seven different units. So I have the employees from each unit participate. When I first started this, it was bigger because I wanted more people, like the administrative assistant, my direct employees, to be part of it. And I also invited human resources. Very important, human resources. Because I wanted to make sure that I did not go out of step. I wasn't going out of step. I wasn't breaking a rule or a law. So I invited human resources to also participate and be actively participating. And it went well. There was no rules or laws that I broke or policies.
Scratching my head going, what rules
I
could you
know,
have
I'm
broken?
She loved it so much. She stayed on for, I think, 4 total sessions.
Wow.
4 rotations.
Yeah.
And then she talked about it to all of her.
Bringing it back to the rest of the
department,
organization.
So she loved it. So now we've got about what I call Gratitude Warriors, that this group. We've got about 5 to 6 Gratitude Warriors in each unit. And now they go and
nice.
support each other, along with the leaders, because they also took
Mhm.
it. And what we do here, the reason it's confidential and it's safe is we do get vulnerable. We do share things. We've had employees that have lost loved ones during this, and we were a support group. So it opens us up. We get to know each other better. They get to know me, not just the director, but Manny, who I am as a person. What's important also is that because it's related to the employee survey, we review the survey every year. We break it down. We look at the comments that are given to us for changes and whatnot. And then they become the liaison to their coworkers and bring information back to this core team. And we all agree of yes, no, and we make these changes, or we come up with another suggestion. Then they bring it back to their unit to see if we've answered their needs.
So share a little bit about that. Like what feedback are you seeing? How have you seen this shift some of the work? You know, does it meet the needs? You know, what are you getting back from employees that's changed since you started
Everything,
this
the
in
last
23?
one was, and of course I investigated, we cannot do it, but I'm not going to say no to something. The last one was because we do have employees throughout the country. Someone suggested, is there any way, I know it's not possible, can we fly to Phoenix to get to meet people and blah, 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 blah. Right? They wanted us to travel here.
Yeah.
I went to airline tickets and cheap tickets and talked to people about frequent flyer miles. Can we collect this? It was just going to be too expensive. Consider hotel and stays and flight. So communicate it. The one thing you do want to do with gratitude in this kind of work is be completely transparent.
Yeah.
Right,
All
communicate,
feedback,
this is what I've
yeah.
done, this is what's going on, and we're going to have these additional costs, something we cannot do. So they respect the fact that we did this work for them. It wasn't
Well,
something
you
that I was
heard.
going
You
to
heard.
dismiss. I'm not going to dismiss anyone regardless of the idea or suggestion. Another something simple, the very first session we met, someone from Release of Information, I randomly send dance break emails. Mandatory, stop what you're doing and listen to the song and start dancing. Right? Break that thing in your head that you just work, but interpret. Dance breaks. And I get replies back. Haven't heard the song in a long time. I love it. My favorite song. Right? But then the Release of Information says that we can't do this. So we can't do it. Do it during your lunch, at least during your lunch. It says, well, we don't close the window at all. I said, what? Because patients are coming into the window requesting copies of records nonstop for 12 hours. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so very sorry. I did not know that. Okay, let's change that right now, and thank you for bringing that to our attention. So I spoke to the manager. We talked about it, but it wasn't as simple as we do it the next day, right? We need to notify the entire organization that the windows will be closed from 12 to 1. The volunteer services, patients may come for medical records, given the release form, here's our hours. So we had to really do an SBAR and notify the entire organization that we're making these changes. But all along the line, I was communicating to the group what we're doing and how we're doing it and why it's taking so long. And then they would communicate it to the employees. And the manager also would inform them this is what we're working on. So everyone is in the know. And what's also very important is whatever we talked about at this meetings with the Gratitude Warriors, if there was something, everything is confidential, but if there's something in the action plan that we're going to investigate, follow up on, or work on, that same action plan is shared with the leaders. So when the Gratitude Warrior and the leader get together, they know what we're doing. There's no surprises. There's not going to be any, Manny said we can have 2 hours lunch. No, he never said that. Here it is in writing. We all agree to this, and here it goes, right? So that's really helped build those relationships, trust relationships between the staff and the employees and each other, where they know they can bring things to the Gratitude Warrior. It's going to come to us. I don't need to know name. I don't need to know any of that. It's what it is, the one thing we want to address. So that in itself was a big deal because I did not know that they were closing the window, that they were stressed out and anxious and they couldn't have a lunch because they're eating. I said, wait, stop. I'm so very sorry. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. That was never the intention. We missed that.
Yeah.
So the first day we closed,
And that's 16 years or 13 years, however long you had been there, that you
Right.
didn't know that. Nobody ever said anything. Nobody brought it up as an issue. Nobody thought this could be something that could be changed.
Correct.
And now that you have a relationship and there's like more of an open door,
Correct.
they provide this.
They start sharing information, meaningful information that we can make changes, positive
You can do
changes.
something about.
Well, I love, because this is the classic feedback loop, right? And so many times you see in organizations, we implement a program or implement an initiative, and then we're like, okay, like implementation was the gold standard, right? But really, this
Yeah.
required feedback loop, because there is no way, particularly in something like this, there is no way to like know and understand every potential negative outcome, right? Obviously, you do that analysis up front. You try to figure out and you know, avoid the risk where you can. But you're just not going to think of everything. Or it also could be that something is working. It worked when you started it. And then 3 months down the line, 6 months down the line, 2 years down the line, it needs to be refreshed. So this feedback loop, to be able to hear what people are saying, I think is so critical to overall success of initiatives like these. I think the other thing that, again, I want to call out is Rachel and I refer to it as the start with yes. Teams are coming to you with ideas. And so many times we hear and we see in engagement data that, suggestions aren't validated, or they're stolen, and, credit is not given. They're ignored. We hear so much about people doing feedback into the feedback boxes and never to hear anything ever again. Mm-hmm. So I think the start with yes, let's figure out what we can do. And then if we're going to do the research, and if we can't do it, we can't do it. I'm going to come back and explain to you now, we wanted to do this, but unfortunately the budget's not permitting because of time and and fuel costs and whatever, right? Mm-hmm. I think the start with yes is so critical. You gain so much from your employees. You will now have a longer runway to make mistakes with your employees simply by doing this, right? By just saying, I hear you, let's try it. Okay, correct. Didn't work. Perfect. Right? What's the next thing? People are coming to you now. People have ideas. They are trying to figure out how to innovate. They are trying to figure out what to get in front of you. This is the piece that so many leaders miss. Is the simple just say yes. Can always go back to no.
The other one we use is assume positive intent as well. So if anyone says anything, when anything comes out, it's like, okay, am I reading this wrong? Assume positive intent. So that was
a hard one
for my team as well. So some of them put in post-it notes when they read the book. I'm having it right next to my computer, and now I'm conscientious of the emails, right? Something I do is I always end my emails with in appreciation and gratitude, and then I go back and reread what I wrote. Is it truly an appreciation and gratitude? If it's not, let's start over again.
Yeah,
right?
is that coming out?
That since 2022. And I explained to my leaders what that meant to me and why I'm doing my signatures that way. You say gracias in Spanish. I just change it around because people are so used to thanks.
Yeah.
It's, to me, when you're used to something, it becomes insignificant. People don't.
Totally.
It just becomes a robot. It's
Yeah.
cold.
Thank you. Thanks. That doesn't.
Right.
That's not recognition. That's not appreciation. Thank you for. Let's get specific about it.
What are they being recognized for? It's very important.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a trigger for me. Is okay. Am I responsive? Am I being respectful? Am I answering the questions? Am I getting to the point? I no longer add. If you have any questions, please let me know because I know I've answered their questions.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my responsibility to make sure. So when I start typing, if you have any questions, let me know. Go back and see where did you not complete a thought, where is something that's missing, so they don't have questions. That kind of defeats the purpose of email.
And we're back and forth.
Yeah, I always
And-
like. Oh, go ahead, Rachel.
No, it's just like, and also you know that if they do have questions, that's already implied, right? Because you have built this relationship that if something does come up, they will ask you. You don't need to say that as some filler and closer or whatever, you know, because it doesn't mean anything. So you don't need it because you've got a relationship.
And I feel like that puts the requirement back on the other person, right? To now have to come and maybe take up more of your time, Manny, versus what you're doing, which is I am proactively engaging here so I can answer any questions. The other way that I like to do that also is, what questions can I answer for you? Like what can I am here to do this for you, not like a afterthought of, if you have questions, let me know, right? Which, by the way, I am also guilty of sometimes including
For
that.
sure.
But I think it's one of those things.
We're gonna change it up now.
Yeah, it's one of those things to be so mindful of, because one, let's make sure we answer questions, especially these questions that you're getting repeatedly. If you're getting repeated questions, there's something going on, right, that you need to address probably operationally. But I just like the proactive nature.
Yeah, we're constantly working on that. I'm glad you brought that up. We get questions, the same questions from physicians over and over and over and over and over again. So it's like, okay, what's missing? So we proactively look at policy and procedures. They need to be updated. We need to add tip sheets to it. And then when the question is raised, don't just send it to that one doctor that's asking the question. If there's a group of 20 in that email, respond to all. And then you say, please share with your peers.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is really helpful in X, Y, and Z. So it's also us educating, because it makes our lives easy. The whole thing, all of this gratitude stuff, selfishly makes my life easier.
Of
My
course.
staff is empowered. My leadership knows what their boundaries are, which are none, because we can make mistakes, and that's perfectly fine. And it's happened where the leader said something incorrectly or wrong in a meeting. They call me right away. I just said this. I apologize instantly. In case it comes back to you. A year later, it came back to me with human resources. Yes, I knew about that. She apologized immediately. She sent an email to the team, and I didn't think it was an issue after that. But apparently it's still coming back, so let's have that conversation. She acknowledged it, didn't ignore it, and that's what used to happen in the past. It's not my issue, it's your issue. If I said something that upsets you, it's your problem, it's not my problem. But that's not a true statement, right? You learn from that, and that's what we talk about in these meetings, how to respect each other, different points of opinions. We live in different parts of the country, we have different cultures. That's the opportunity for us to learn from each other. So if someone says something that offends you, it's safe for us to ask the question, because you're assuming positive intent, but the person may not be conscious of what that means to your culture.
Right.
All
We
of
can
this is
assume positive
correct.
intent, but we also need to be mindful of the impact that it has on people. So to be able to
And
have that
Those
conversation on the
individuals
impact
should
to
feel
learn.
safe. Correct. Should feel
Yeah.
safe to voice it so we can all learn, and that's
Yeah.
important.
I think what you're-
It
I
makes
think
our
the-
lives easier.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think the environment that you're creating is just so optimal for how teams can innovate. You also, though, are creating an environment where people are going to make mistakes. It's an inevitability. Technology is going to fail. It's inevitability, right? How quickly we can attack those things, how quickly we find them, can address them, often will contain the damage that it can cause, right? And so the system that you're setting up is, I'm raising my hand that I made a mistake. So whether that comes up in a week or it's collecting over time, and now a year later where these and this and all this is happening, it becomes this big thing, that's not going to happen as often to you, right? Because people are raising their hands, they're letting you know this got messed up, you can quickly fix them before the impact is probably felt really outside of your department much. I think this is the failings that operators don't understand. Creating a safe environment for folks, actually just what you said, makes your job easier as a leader. That is really the work. So you put in a lot of intensive work up front here, but now you're reaping those benefits, and your workload is better.
Because the staff is empowered. truly empowered, right? We talk about that. Oh, I empower my staff. I have an open door policy. But if you're never there, your door can be open 24/7. If you're in meetings all the time, not make yourself available. I purposely schedule chats by the water cooler with the staff, 15 minutes. We get on virtual meetings, coffee, and I want you to have coffee. These meetings, I don't care about your productivity. If you're to stop working and not worry about it. So if you're to do 3 charts per hour, guess what? You're going to be 3 charts short if I spend an hour with you, and it's okay. If the director's telling you it's okay, it's okay. And a lot of them are so conditioned to, I can't stop. Oh, I have to make up those 3 charts. No, you don't. I literally have to tell people, no, you do not. For the hour and a half that we meet, you're not to make up that work at all. It's done. It'll be short on your productivity, and it's not a big deal. The work's still going to be there, right? Because I'm not asking you to meet for you to do double work that day. So it takes deconditioning from the past experiences, I'm going to call it trauma, that they've had in their lives. Because we've all had this trauma. We're so used to, 10-hour days is the norm, right? I'm a director, so I should be working 10. No!
Not about the hours.
No.
About the impact.
Exactly. And that was a lesson, I used to consult. So yeah, I was 10-hour, 12-hour days and travel. That was my mind. I worked in New York City. It was okay to leave the office at 7 p.m. and get home by 8 and then start all over again the next morning at, 7:30 in the morning at the office. That's how we're conditioned.
And can you believe people are burnt out and disengaged with work? I mean, I don't understand. Why would they be?
Sick?
Sick time, anxiety, stress, and then you take it out on the employee. That then the cycle just continues.
Let me ask you.
In this organization, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I cut
What
you off.
in the organization is that the culture is just that. They put the budget in for us to recognize the staff. They created what we call limelight, which you can recognize someone online. You shoot them a gratitude message of recognition. Their leader gets copied on it. We reply back to both and say, thank you very much for recognizing Betty. And I agree, blah, 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 and gratitude. So I reply to all of those emails because I love seeing those first thing in the morning or anytime during the day. So leadership is really committed to that. And I did this work with my revenue cycle directors and my VP. They committed to this as well. And now their PF scheduling, the director told me yesterday, that they're almost done with the book and her leadership team. So they're doing it as well.
Great.
So that warms my heart.
Permeates.
Also, what happened in 2024 when our survey results went from, what was it? I have it here somewhere. It went from, I thought it was organized. Here it is. From 90% favorable or 89% favorable, we did this work. That was 22 results. We went from 90% favorable to 98% favorable, and 89% favorable in overall average to 95% favorable in overall average.
Wow.
And then in 2025, we changed our surveys to press gaining, and we're at 4.63 out of 5, the 99th percentile in employee engagement and satisfaction.
Again, I want to call some things out because so many times you see a number like 89%, we're like, oh, we don't have to work on that. Oh, you know what? We're in the top quartile. Like it's 89%. We don't have to work on that. It's fine. What a impressive call to you that said, I'm not fine with that. I'm not fine with 90%. I want 100. I want every single person in my organization to feel this way, to want to be here, right? So kudos to you, because so many times people will sit and applaud themselves on that, right? Because that still is going to be higher than what some of the national averages are, whether in hospitals or outside of hospitals. So I think that's impressive.
Not about the number. To me, it's not about the number. It's not about me. It's about that employee. Frontline employee. What are they going through? What's happening? And getting to know them so we can actually understand that if something's happening out of the blue, it's reaching out to them and saying, are you okay? You don't have to tell
First
me.
question.
But I've noticed something, you're snappy at a meeting or you're out of place. If there's something going on and you need to take the rest of the day off, please take it. You're not in trouble. I just want you to take care of yourself first.
true curiosity instead of accusation.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. It's not. It's if someone, and it's happened to me when the one time since 2022 when I sent an email out that I did not sign it in appreciation and gratitude. I got a email back from the director of PFS saying, "Hey, I know you better than this. Your reply is this way and that way." And I read it and goes, "Oh my God, you're absolutely right. I just ran it through the email and I wanted to answer your question. I meant nothing by it, and I apologize."
Yeah.
So to me, those little things are opportunities for lessons learned for me. Another lesson learned for me was I was on a conference call, and we had decided this workflow was going to be built this way through the system, IT, and the providers. We all met for weeks, and then I was tasked with writing the policy procedure. I was like, okay, fine. I did the work, and then we went live with it, and what I understood the functionality was, it was different. So I called the team back together, and I had my leader, in the meeting with me in IT. And then I asked an individual, I said, were we not at the same meeting? Because we're virtual, and no one saw my facial, and no one saw that I'm just asking a question, maybe I'm missing something. All I got was an instant, from two people on the call. I said, wait, what? What just happened? I said, wait a minute, I didn't mean any disrespect. I apologize if I disrespected you, and I appreciate the opportunity to apologize to you because someone took it the wrong way. I'm very sorry. All I was trying to say is I was at the same meeting and I understood something different. All I'm asking is for you to give me the feedback as to what did you understand so I can see what I'm missing. So I explained myself. I didn't brush it off. Old me would have been whatever. Let's just keep talking, right? Let's just keep going through this. New me is I instantly, here's the opportunity. Don't
Here's the
brush it under
opportunity.
the carpet.
Yeah.
Don't ignore it because you hurt one person. It may not have been the person that you were speaking to, but someone in the group took it the wrong way, and I
left a mark on what your brand is.
Yeah.
apologize to everyone on the call. I said, this is not me. This is not who I want to be known at in this organization because this is so I apologize. And then after I asked my manager, how did I say it? How did it come out to you on that end? She said, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I said, okay.
For somebody who knows you, it came across as funny and glib, and somebody else was like, wow, he's really pissed and really took that other person out,
And that did take me to the HR office 2 months later.
All
and
right.
I'm like, okay, well, this is what happened. This is what I did.
Yeah.
They just told me the person that you were speaking to is not the one that made the complaint.
Complaint.
It's someone that was in the honors. I said, I know that because I know that because I was there, and that's what I heard from someone else, and I apologize to everyone. This is what I did about it. So they were like, okay, we should resolve.
Manny,
So-
can I ask you just a quick question, because you've done all this amazing work. I know that you got the engagement scores that obviously went up. Did you see any other metrics change, like your productivity or maybe unscheduled absences? Did you see any changes in those metrics?
Yes. Productivity is stable. When we do need to ask for overtime because we need to close last month's charts, they're on it. We recognize them daily. We can see the daily dashboards, right? And we recognize everyone. And then I tie in. It takes a while for staff to understand, you may not be coding the record because ultimately we want to code that record to drop the claim. But however, you're scanning documents and you're making sure the record's completed in order for that to be done. So it's connecting all the dots for the staff and training them how they are a valuable asset, resource to the assembly line.
To the whole stream,
Not just
yes.
thank you
The
to the coders
overall,
for coding it. Is thank you all for being part of this amazing team. If it wasn't for the support of this, we wouldn't be here. So we do have an incentive bonus payout every month. They all know what their goals are internally within the unit, and then we have the department goal of 4.0 average D&B days, right? That means we've coded everything within 4 days. So we actively see this every day. Every morning that comes out in an email, and we're all seeing it. And if we're falling behind, okay, team, what can we do to support the coding team, blah, 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 blah. Let's move it. Our charts are missing documentation. We're tracking that as well. We meet with the doctors. So the director is not sending suspension notices to the attending providers. Organizations do that. My frontline staff, Not even the manager is sending suspension notices. My frontline staff is sending those letters. And when doctors call and complain, this is the first time I hear this. I was like, nuh-uh. Let me explain to you how the workflow goes. And this is communication. So now I step in, right, and support them. But the integrity of our department is respected because we've listened to our customers, which is the entire organization. We've implemented processes and changes to meet their needs, and we communicate it. So we're no longer questioned. If we're challenged with something, we can back it off. We don't implement anything without speaking to the affected parties. If we're going to change a policy, who is it going to affect? Let's get their buy-in. Let's review the workflows with them. Let's have them agree to the policy and procedure, and we implement it. So there's no surprise. I don't like surprises. I don't want to surprise anyone.
Definitely.
So it's a mutual respect. And if we do make a mistake, we have those meetings and we work with them and say, thank you very much. And even when someone is complaining about something, I do say, I appreciate the opportunity for us to revisit this workflow. There might be a gap in it, so let's work on this together.
Definitely.
And then we work through it, and then we identify an opportunity and we change it. So like you said, we revisit things as often as we need to make my life easier. Because it makes all of their lives easier when I can back them and they can prove. I'm just sending the notice. No one's going to question me, my frontline staff. No one's going to challenge me. And if they do, Manny's going to step in or Manny's going to step in.
And can I add that you made space and time for people to get up and dance and think about their gratitude and meet with people to see what the challenges were that need to be fixed. You've made space and time for this, and your productivity went up. So I emphasize this because the argument is always we don't have time. We don't have time. There's no space or time for this. And it's like, here's the thing, and I'm beating this with a dead horse, because when you make space and time for this, your business will operate and run better. You will have better productivity. You will have people raising their hands about issues. You will have teams that are trying to figure out how to work and do things better without you having to come to them to ask them. People engaged, understanding their work. It is a all-around better solution and this is to all the CFOs in the world. This actually does help your bottom line and your top line, because now we're delivering better service to customers and we're saving money. These are all positive things. This is the kind of space and time people need.
And like I was saying, I think I said it earlier, I do have the support. I feel very comfortable with our leadership, our president, or my CFO. I used to report to the CFO for a short time when there was a vacancy of my VP. And I remember sitting with her in one meeting, her saying to me, I wish I could do more for you guys. I was like, wait, stop right there. You are doing everything you can possibly do, and I appreciate you. Don't think that. And I told her, I said, why don't you, what is your gratitude song? She's like, so what is your favorite song? Is it your wedding song? Is it a song that brings back gratitude to you? What is that song? Tell your smart speaker to play it. And when it plays, you stop what you're doing and recharge for those 4 to 5 minutes. You're not doing nothing but just listening to the song, because it's going to take you back again. Gratitude mindset. It's going to take you back to that happy time, and then you're refreshed, right?
That's right.
And now you're smiling, and now you can move on for the day. So she appreciated that. And the very next day, I wake up early in the morning, and I have a list of all these things that I need to do. A cup of coffee in my hand in the kitchen. I got to do this. I got to da 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 da. My gratitude song started playing in this month. I put the coffee cup down, and I'm thinking to myself, "Wow, message taken."
Yeah.
And
it's all about being present. I feel like the through line here is like really being present, being aware of your surroundings, being focused on how you want to show up, how you want to feel, appreciating the little things that are happening all the time around us.
And can I add this too?
Thank you for this. Yeah.
And can I add this too? Because so many times someone who's like a director or maybe a manager thinks that, I have to go all the way up to the C level or to, the president to try to make something happen. You weren't really trying to do anything other than this is the universe that I actually can support. And so we're going to do this thing. And now look at how it's gone across your organization. So the secondary message from Manny, lead from where you sit. It doesn't require you to have these big positions and these things and these things. Not that you don't have a big position, Manny, but I'm saying it doesn't mean that you have to sit in this super great grand position to do these things. You have a department. You took your department and did what you knew was going to be good and was going to work well, or at least you were theorizing was going to work well for your department. And then it has. And now look, it's become an example that's permeating all over the hospital.
And the thing with and I'm sure I'm speaking to hopefully CFOs and everyone else out there. Every time you do an employee engagement survey, you're always asked, what's your action plan? What action plans are you going to put in place to improve, right? And that was you're giving me, this is my permission to get creative.
That's right.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this. Here's my action plan. We're going to buy these books for my leadership team, and this is how we're going to do it. And boom. If anyone out there wants to know how to do this, reach out to me, because it's really easy. The only thing you need to be is courageous enough to be vulnerable. And if you're thinking that this is just not me, I'm going to come out phony and fake, it takes practice. Read the book for
That's
yourself.
the self-work,
Practice it
right?
at
That's
home.
the self-awareness.
Yeah, practice it at home. And then with practice, it becomes natural. I was afraid of that too. It's going to be the flavor of the month. Are they going to give up on you? Are they not going to want to read the book? Now they know when we're ending the cycle, I start asking for new volunteers in the units, and then they step up. When we did the first session, we finished the book in the first session. I asked the team, I said, do we want to continue this or do we want to stop it? What do you guys? They said, no, we're going to continue. We're going to step back to let a new member step up. So that's been the whole routine, step back to step up. And what we do at the beginning of each session, all the past gratitude warriors, leadership, everyone that's already done this welcomes the new team, and they encourage the new team to participate in what they learned from it. So it's like it's an orientation of what to expect, but hearing it from the past gratitude warriors.
Peers, yeah.
The reason I did not include supervisors or anyone else in this group is because I wanted the employees to feel comfortable and safe, even with the director, to voice their concerns and issues. Because if the concern and issue was with the management team, they were not going to feel comfortable.
That's right.
Right? So I wanted them to feel comfortable and open up. And that's worked. I've had employees, the other thing this has happened, I've had employees that are shy, quiet, didn't participate in the first 3 sessions. Fourth session, they felt comfortable and secure and safe. They started voicing and talking and sharing and making changes within their units. I've had people that have participated in this and have promoted up, where normally they would not have had the courage to apply for a promotion.
That's awesome.
And they've opened up. So we've had promotions from within. We've had scores go up. We've had productivity go up. We've had employees voice issues and concerns. We've had them support each other. We created a Teams message board where we put things there. There's a Padlet website as well that we put bullet boards to celebrate birthdays. We celebrate birthdays. Next week is HIM week. We bought a bunch of stuff with our budget, and we mailed it all last week. So we have a swag store in the organization. So we bought caps and coffee, water mugs. So all
Got a
this
thing for
stuff.
coffee, Manny.
We're going to have games. We've had coloring books in the past, origami. And then we introduced that in HIM week. And then what we do for the rest of the year is we have these breaks throughout the month where we do origami for 30 minutes, or we do coloring books. And any of us can schedule that. And anyone that wants to join, whenever they want to join, they join.
That's awesome.
This year, to entice them to do it, we bought extra swag, and we're going to raffle it. So whoever participates,
cute.
their names are going to go on the wheel, and wherever it lands, they get whatever, and we mail it to them.
So great,
Because
Manny.
again, it's about stopping. My thing is stop your day.
Yeah.
Stop your day. Take 5
Let's get
minutes.
present.
Take 30 minutes. It's healthier for you. It's for your mental well-being, and you're not going to get sick. You're not going to get frustrated. You're not going to get anxious. You're not going to go home hateful, right? So those are things that we learn. The book also talks about traffic. Our mindset starts changing before we have to get on that 101 behind traffic, and we start hating the fact that we have to get in the car. So if you continuously put these planks of negativity in front of you, regardless of what the practice is, you're always going to
That's right.
have that negative effect, and then you're going to take
That's
it out
right.
on your poor dog when you get home, or your children
That's
who
right.
are happy to see you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Right. So you change that to a positive thing, and we all have the technology. You can call someone you haven't spoken to in a long time in that ride home. You find something positive to do. Sing out loud to a song. You'll get rid of the negative pieces, so when you get home, you're a totally different person. That's very important as well. So there's
Yeah,
things
because
that
you're
we
a
learn
whole
from-
person. You're not just work. You're not just partner. You're not just parent. You're a whole entire person, and so you've got to be thinking about all of that. I think through every element and aspect of your life. It's been great stuff,
this-
Manny.
And bring it home. Share it with your children. Ask them 3 questions. 3 negative, 1 negative, or 3 negative and 1 positive. Right during lunch.
Yep.
Or tell me
Yep.
something. What are you grateful for today?
Rosebud thorn.
Right.
That's what we
there's
use in my
different
house.
things you can do. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
different
for
things you
sure.
can do.
It's
And
beautiful.
once you're in that mindset, you're not going to miss those opportunities to recognize someone for what they just did.
Yeah.
Give someone
Beautiful.
the opportunity to get out of the parking lot in the middle of traffic. Look at their faces.
And this is it, right? We're all showing up, like Andy, you just said, as full people. We don't just leave our work self at work and our home self at home. Like, if we can show up with more gratitude, with more kindness, this is why we get up every day to do what we do, to change the world,
It's easy
right?
nowadays to be a total ass than to be
Mhm.
vulnerable and be kind.
Totally.
People are surprised when you're kind to them. It's sad.
Well,
Practice
Manny, if
gratitude.
the work that you're doing, the work that we're doing, hopefully we can shift that to the other way around, right?
Exactly.
People are shocked when you're not kind to them, because we want more kindness across the world.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Manny, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and sharing what you've done with the team. Very fun. Thanks so much. We'll keep the conversation going, and you'll be sharing this with the AZ HEMA crew and at the conference the end of June, and I'll be there too as the keynote. How fun! Thank you, Manny. All right. Well, we will
Thank you,
speak with
Manny.
you soon. Have a great one. Take good care. Bye bye.